Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome again to a further session of David's dazzling documents from the Cornwall Record Office here in Truro. What have we got for you today? Well, on the table we have a particularly massive ledger book. It's in fact one of a series of 25 of these ledger books that relate to the great St Just mine Levant. Levant was one of the great Cornish mines, and its very name conjures up visions of the east and something exotic. It was also a mine that went out under the sea and was legendary for a number of reasons. Let's have a look inside and see what we can learn from this huge book. We're dealing with a period in the early 1880s, and a cost book is showing accounts of the expenses of the mine in 4-week periods. And this one is one of the best examples that we've got in the entire Record Office collection, because you can pick up the names of particular people who are doing particular jobs at particular times in the record. On the left-hand page, for example, we've got the, in a great sort of descending order, at the very top we've got Richard White, Captain Dick White as he was known, the purser, with a salary of 8 guineas a month. And then as we look down through the list of names, we've got William Richard White, who I think it was his son, who's a clerk, on 4 guineas. We've got expenses for the account house and the people who work there, the 6 people. We've got the pit and the timbermen, James Rowe, Thomas Bone, James Henry Ellis, James Newton Jr., and someone was also paid for watching the engine, 30 shillings, of the submarine shaft underneath the sea. There are also, for example, 6 blacksmiths that work on the mine: the Angwins, the Rose, the Grenfalls, the Clemences, the Bones and the Warrenses. And then further down we have the carpenters, and the second one of these has the wonderful name of Abner Grenfall's boy. But there you go, it's a wonderful record of what's actually going on in the mine at a given time. On the other page you have, for example, the engine drivers: the Trezizes, the Churgwins, the Matterns, the Thomases, the Penroses, the Craises, the Matthewses, and the Gelberts, all good St Just names. And then down at the bottom of the page we've got Sundry, Stemworks, good St Just names here as well, the Casleys, the Treglowns, the Warrens. As we turn over, we have a second part of the record which is even more detailed, because you can see particular individuals who are leading groups of men. For example, we've got William Bennett and Co. He's driving the 250 level west of the submarine shaft, and the costings are given, which in this case is £15, 16 shillings and 8p. Another man, Caleb Batten, and his group of men are sinking the winch in the bottom of the 250 level west of submarine shaft. The materials that they use are also listed, £1, 13 and 6p. And the clerk has beautifully compiled this record. It must have been a very, very interesting process by which the clerk knew everything that was going on and how to write all this information in the mine account books. Just finally, looking back further in the book to a little period a little later, on March the 28th, 1885, in the accounts there, H.W. Wairn is paid for 10 bushels and 19 pounds of oats. Why were they buying oats in Levant mine in the 1880s? The mine, of course, had a large number of 4-footed employees as well as 2-footed ones. There were a number of horses and a lot of mules that took things around the mine site. Some of the fascinating details that emerged from this vast account book. Were your ancestors St Just miners? Did they work perhaps in Levant? By using and looking at such records as these, you will get a fascinating glimpse of how these men worked at this time. And there are some women, there are some female employees who also worked on the surface, who are listed in this huge book. Come and enjoy if you'd like to know more about your St Just mining ancestors.